Well, many thanks, Victor. Our closing moments now with the chairman of the ICPC, and we're talking about well, other sectors or other agencies in the aviation sector. Very quickly, you know, people really want to see some specifics and move by the agency so that, well, they know if they can also assist the agency in maybe by way of whistleblowing, getting some of those things done, because I sincerely would think that you would, with open hands, welcome such.
Let's see, who are really the victims of corruption in this country, or indeed any country of the world? Have you really thought of that?
Who do you think they are?
You. Everybody. And if you know you are a victim of something, the best place to start is to speak out. Because if you don't speak out and let other people know that, look, I'm going through this pain, you're most unlikely going to have assistance. Most times we have become so used to acts of corruption that we have this cynicism, even in reporting, that it doesn't really concern me unless I'm physically attacked. You don't have to wait. Every traveler has had to go through pains. In fact, this Punch journalist I read, Bayo Olupuhunda, I think October 30th this year, painted a very graphic situation about the airports, and I did a cutting, and on the basis of that, we laid out our strategies.
So what is the strategy? Because a lot of people will be interested in that. Low-level corruption in the airports has been rampant for a while. It's gone on for years. It's a culture, it's a custom. A lot of people make extra income from that stream. How do you intend to curb this thing? Because there's a very thin line, as you rightly observed, between a bribe and a tip. How do you intend to, you know, differentiate or draw the line between this tip? Or you say you're not going to allow any, but can you really stop people from giving if they want to? What is the strategy?
You see, you've used some technical words which we have internalized: low-level corruption. It's this low-level corruption that becomes the international perception that your country is corrupt. If you meet an outsider who comes and finds this low-level corruption, which is not applicable in its own part of the world. So we must, as a people, decide this is not acceptable, this is the international best practice we must adopt. And when we come face to face with this, what is my reporting line? I have toll-free lines running for ICPC. I'm sure you would be scrolling that soon if you've not. You have supervising officers at the airport. I'm not going to put my staff permanently because that would be one extra agency. What we've done is to make sure that these agencies that are there buy in, that we are not here to cause pains to anybody. And so the regulating officers of those agencies would be trained by us to red flag certain issues that they see. And once in a while would come in and carry out our statutory functions, and we intend to punish seriously this time.
Well, the toll-free lines that, I don't know if they're going to be schooling it, is it going to be just for reporting corruption at the airport? What if you notice it anywhere else?
No, it's for any type of corruption, and it runs 24 hours. We take calls during the day, and when we close officially, I have a recording machine that takes on all complaints.
But people don't know this, because it would seem that, well, information management in so many other agencies are not better managed. Sometimes we always want, you know, CSR, which you don't have to put it on the people. Sometimes we should see agencies paying to get some information out to the people. I'm just able to hear for the first time as a journalist that ICPC has a toll-free line.
It's been scrolling on AIT, and we send them by bulk SMS. And since you've afforded me this opportunity,
I'm asking, have you done a paid editorial to get the lines?
Of course we did. The whole of last year, and I've been getting a lot of feedback through that process.
And you've been able to also, well, nip some of these things in the bud and also kickstart an investigation into some of them.
Of course, that's the whole essence of the toll-free lines. And you tend to get pictorial evidence of what is happening at certain places. You know, the young persons, because we have to target them, have been sending information which we must address, like at the airports now. As soon as we get that response, I've already set up a response team in the Lagos Zonal Office. So within 10-15 minutes, you must get a response.
Now, when you get this, the issue of persecution are the things that bother Nigerians.
Yes.
Because after you've done all the years, you have a toll-free line, you've been getting feedback, and some of them have helped you to put together your strategy. What about the issue of persecution?
Well, the issue of prosecution doesn't really lie in my domain, like you know. But I do know that we're having concerted efforts now to have a criminal justice system that responds fast to issues. And I wouldn't really blame the criminal justice system to, off cue. Good investigation would lead to faster prosecution.
So will you advocate special courts like your sister agency, the EFCC?
Did they advocate for special courts?
At some point, yes, they did.
Because what has happened now is that the CJ, the Chief Justice, and the Chief Judge of various states have set aside 2 judges to handle corruption-related matters in order to give faster response. And
that is satisfactory for you?
Yes, so far it's satisfactory because don't forget that you have under the Code of Conduct Tribunal a special court dealing with corruption-related issues that have to do with assets declaration. That tribunal is there in respect of that. And if you begin to have special courts specifically for corruption matters, would they be very, very busy? It's good to have a lot more judges pick up that experience. But for me, as a person, and for ICPC, the best approach is to make sure that investigation processes are up to date so that you reduce conviction time. And lastly, you can aid corruption cases in court if you put it on the burner permanently in the media, because no judge would like to hear this matter is being delayed in my court all the time. But if you take it after arraignment and everybody goes to sleep.
Well, I think we'll key in on that, and we'll also stay on this particular fight, because it's something that everyone is interested in, and we say, well, we still haven't actually scratched the surface yet, and what you say so far, we're making progress. We'd like to thank you so very much, Mr. Ekpo Nta. He's the chairman of the ICPC, and we've been looking at the fight against corruption in the aviation sector. Well, Sarah Zilla takes another break, and we'll return shortly. Join us again.